Hey, I got asked this question, and someone was saying, okay, so what happens if I start a bookkeeping business and things don't work out the way that I want? So, like, maybe I get it to six figures, and then I either don't want to do it anymore, or something happens, or I sell the business. Like, am I out of luck? And this question comes from a person. She was in her 40s, so she wasn't quite at retirement age, but she was thinking about moving into this field of accounting and bookkeeping, and she was kind of I think she had tried some other like businesses, like a cleaning business in the past, and it just didn't quite work out. And she was like, I don't want to have to keep picking up the pieces every single time I try and do something new. Now, on the one hand, accounting and booking business is like the most efficient business. It's very profitable. It doesn't take a lot of ad spend to grow it, and people want to stay with you for a long time. So I personally think it's one of the best businesses to start. Um, it it is the best business model for a beginner to start. So what I mean by that, to make like 10 grand a month, 12 grand, 15 grand a month is not challenging with this business model. You don't even need like extra people. If you're doing this full time, you can get to about 12 grand a month pretty comfortably. When you start getting like 15, 20 grand a month, you might need at least one staff account to do some of the work for you. But at least to this certain degree of like the 12 grand a month, it doesn't take more than just like one person. And but then some people ask like, well, okay, if you have an accounting business, why do you also have a coaching business? An accounting business is the best for beginner. Well, first of all, I'm not a beginner. So a coaching business is a little bit better for lifestyle purposes because it doesn't take as much labor to grow and hit a high revenue number. So, okay, so let's say, for example, if you have an online course, every time you make a sale, it doesn't really add on to the amount of time it takes for you to run the business. So for me, for example, all of our students, whenever they need like help, they'll send me like a text message or an email, or we'll do like a coaching call or whatever. But after a certain period of time, when people know exactly what they need to do, it's not as heavy on the like coaching side. It's more on like the motivational side. Okay, cool, this is awesome. Let's go. Great job. You're moving forward. Do you have anything that you've forgotten or any questions you might have? I'm like, no, everything's good. So once you get them out of like this like, introductory phase where it's like they're learning the different skill sets, it's more about like maintaining the growth that they're getting. But it doesn't take much extra work on my end. So I can essentially double how much I make from my bookkeeping business with having a coaching business, while maybe only adding like 0.25 or zero point 0.5 the time involvement that I would have on the bookkeeping side. So a coaching is kind of a good auxiliary business to a business you already have. I almost liken it to like tax planning. So like if you can do bookkeeping, you can learn tax planning. That's also a good kind of business. It's really like you want to get your recurring revenue to be between 3 to 5 times whatever your monthly bills are, and then you want to have some service that's either like a package based service, or it's a service where you can use money to make more money. So what's a good example? E-commerce. That's a good example. Now, e-commerce is tricky for a lot of people just due to the advertising, due to the product selection. There's a lot of like tricks that kind of come with it, so it's not the best. Instead, I like doing like these kind of package based things. So like my coaching service is a package, right? It's a mid ticket package. It's not high ticket is generally about like $8,000 to about $15,000 is what we consider like high ticket online. Mine is more of like a mid ticket. So I could charge high ticket prices for this service just based on the results. It's just I choose to kind of keep it mid ticket so that's not too out of range for most people. Like, if you're expecting to pay like 2 grand, 2,500, it's gonna be more than that. So it's between like 3 grand to about 8 grand, it's depending on like the different options you get for the program. But low ticket would be like below 2,500. I keep mine like mid ticket because that just like puts it within striking distance of, if you just get one client and the client stays for 12 months, you've already made a profit on the program. But it serves as a package, so I can be able to kind of like take the money and then go on vacation or do whatever I want. So it's like you can give back and help people out without necessarily having to go and like take on a bunch of extra like people. Because that's the one thing that sometimes it can be really good. when you have like people that are working for you, but sometimes it's like just the training element is something that can take a little while to go and find like a really good person, and you can like maybe that can be a struggle for a lot of people. So instead of having to go and scale like that, you just add on like a package based service where you're getting a certain amount of money. For example, one of our students named Jake, he charged about 5 to about 7 grand for his tax plans. So anytime he wants to go on vacation or anytime he wants to go someplace, he basically just goes and sells another tax plan to one of either his existing clients or a new client. He gets an extra 5 grand and then he just goes on vacation or goes hangs out with his family, right? And or he had to buy a car for his daughter because she had just turned, I think it was like she turned like 15 or 16, I can't remember exactly, but she basically wanted a car. So he basically went and he just did 2 tax plans. So he made $10,000 and basically went and bought her like a used car. And it was just like, it didn't hurt him at all because he knows that his bill's already paid for with his monthly recurring bookkeeping services. And then tax planning is just what he does to go and like have fun money, essentially. Some a little bit extra disposable income. Now, when I say disposable income, of course he's doing like $300,000 a year. So I mean, he had a lot of disposable income, but it's one of those things. I mean, like when you have a business, like it's like life doesn't necessarily get easier. It's just the monetary aspects and the wants for stuff don't affect you the same. So I'll give you an example. So you can still have problems in like a relationship or problems like maybe with your kids, or maybe the kids have like bullies in school, or the kids are falling behind in schools. Like those, just because you make more money doesn't mean those are going to go away. I mean, like maybe if you can homeschool them, right? Then technically if you had enough money to not have to work, you can homeschool your kids. That would solve it. Yes. Okay. I stand corrected. So maybe the business can solve more problems, but. So I was at the dealership the other day. My Merc needed a Service B for it. I don't really drive that much because I don't have to leave my house to work. So it's been about 2 years since I needed like from the first service to the second service, and like they were like, okay, so it's gonna be $500 for, oh no, it's $1,000 for Service B, and then they found like my rotors need to be changed, so it was $951. Then my tires needed also, so the tire pack was like $751. So altogether it's about $2,700. And like, if I would have got hit with $2,700 back in like 2015, 2016, I would have had a panic attack. I would have been like, oh my gosh, that's so much time at work. I would have just been spazzing out, It's like, how am I going to pay that quickly? And like, I know $2,700, depending on like what your situation is, that might not be a lot of money, but just to have an unexpected $2,700 bill in a depreciating asset would have just like annoyed me. Now it was just like, okay, cool, boom. And you can do some different things to write it off, But it's like, depending on if you already did the depreciation or not. But it didn't hurt. I didn't even feel it. And I was like, it was at that moment, because like at first I was like, it was weird because I was like, you come a long way in terms of like the money, the monetary stuff and things like that. But it doesn't really affect you the same way. And then you just kind of have like an existential crisis, like, man, what is money, And like, it's been funny, like this year, like really kind of learning how to deal with just aspects of life outside of business now that this has been like the first year to where like I beat the game of money. Like probably like a year ago, 2 years ago, I would still be thinking about money to a certain degree. Like, okay, I have to go hit this certain goal. I have to go and put this money away. I need my investments to be here. But then like when you hit that, it's just different. And then like, I didn't take my foot off the gas, so to speak, but it was kind of like the focus on my life was not on the money the same way that it was. Yeah, and you have to kind of find some stuff other, like if you have like children or if you have like hobbies or you have different things. Like you might have heard that I joined like a dance team and like I'm doing performances all over the United States. I haven't done a performance outside the United States. We might do one in Canada soon. But yeah, just finding different cool things to do. Like now I started shopping for like some clothes that are not just business clothes. Started going on vacations and stuff a lot more than what I used to. But yeah, maybe write in the comments, like, what would you do if you already beat the money game? You didn't really have to care about investments anymore. You knew that you had enough to take you for the rest of your life, and then you had enough to leave to your children. Like, what would you do? Now, maybe you haven't thought that far. Maybe you're still trying to like beat the game. If you want help beating the game, like maybe you're thinking about starting a business, and you know that if you had a business, you can have an uncapped vehicle that could take you wherever you wanted to go. If you feel that you want some help doing that and building that, and maybe you've seen some of our videos, maybe you haven't, but you just know that if you had someone who's a little bit further ahead than you in the game that could take you by the hand and walk you hand in hand to your goal, if you feel that could help you out, go ahead and click the link inside the description above below the video. Book a call, see if I can help you inside of our program, okay? I'm looking forward to working with you. Like, we don't work with a lot of people every month. We work with about 10 people max inside of our mentorship program. Because a couple of reasons for that. Number one, it's because, like, I wanted to make sure that my success rate was as high as possible. I've did a lot of courses when I was coming up, and I just noticed, like, in like these really big courses where there's like 1,000 people on the call, you have to wait your turn, you never really get like answers to stuff, your success rate generally like will drop, right? And it's just not as good. But the courses that helped me the best were like when they were small, and I could actually like work directly with the founder of the program, and like they could just guide me and give me like insights into like what works. So I wanted to be able to do the same thing, right? Because I kind of have like a really weird thing where it's like I don't want someone to pay me money and then not get results. That just feels kind of weird to me. It just feels kind of icky to me. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that if you pay me money, like you get some sort of result out of it. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you're gonna make like 20 grand a month every single month for the rest of your life, right? You will have to work to that. You can get there, but you will have to work there. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be 2 months to get to 20 grand a month. We have had students that do that, but that's not the norm, right? Most people, you're gonna add between like $3,000 to $5,000 per month to your monthly recurring revenue every quarter. So it's gonna be slow and steady, but it's gonna be consistent. Now, another thing is I wanted to make sure that like I could actually service you to the best ability. That's why we take on only about 10 people per month. Okay, so if you want to be one of the 10. If you want to be one of the few elite accounting and bookkeeping business owners that are growing your business, and you want to be able to go and get the time to do that shorter, go ahead and click the link. I'd love to see you inside the call. I'd love to see if I can help you out, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day.